What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Actor Podcast. Now, today I've got actor, writer, director, producer, podcaster, all around dope individual, my man Geno Brooks. Geno, what's going on, brother?
Man, I can't call it E. I'm just laughing hearing all those, those multi-hyphenates. Sorry about that. Laughing at all those multi-hyphenates because it's like each of those are his own journey for me. You know what I mean? And I've earned it's like a strike. I guess I'm earning a few as we go, and I've earned a couple of those already. So it's kind of funny to hear. Yeah.
All right. So for those that don't know, how did you get started in this whole entertainment industry? Was it an accident or is it like a lifelong dream?
No, I mean, it's definitely not an accident. It's an accident how it all. Can you hear that my text messages going off?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My computer is just like, let me see if I can remove it from the dock. So I shouldn't get any more text messages. Man, I would say it's a lifelong dream to be in the industry, right? How it all came about was an act of God. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. I feel like I came to LA to visit my fraternity brother, my Sans, and and I always wanted to be out here. And we came to visit him during his birthday, and he's one of these LA cats that the whole month, he's a Gemini, so the whole month is his birthday. You know what I mean? So we hung out. And long story short, just to make it concise, I stayed longer than I was supposed to. My fiance at the time, now my wife, she went back to school. We was living in Jacksonville, Florida. And I stayed out here. She knew I needed some time away from the job. You know what I'm saying? And I was going through some racial situations there. And I needed an extra break, And she told me I could stay. I stayed, called my job, told them I was going to stay out here. And long story short, you know how when you go somewhere, you go visit somebody, they got to get back to work once the partying is over.
Yeah.
So he was like, man, I got to go to work, but you can stay around here, or Unc can come pick you up. His uncle, we call him Unc. And he came to pick me up. He was like, he's going to work on his movie today. I know you want to be in the movies. You should go with him. And he came to pick me up at 7:30 in the morning. And this thing's still on my computer.
Popular, man.
Man, it probably won't stop, bro. In all honesty, but so long story short, man, I went to that set. They was filming a movie that was based out of Chicago originally, Cooley High. So they were doing a remake to it, and he told her he was running sound. He was the sound guy. He told the director that I was his nephew. I was in town, and I wanted to be an actor, writer, director. And basically what ended up happening next, he gave me the director, said, oh, okay, cool. Here are the scenes that we're about to film. So long story short, the guy that was supposed to come in for that role didn't. And or at least didn't come in on time. And I was just stand-in. So blocking, everybody know what a stand-in is, right? And when the director was starting to do the line, run the scene, rehearse the scene, I started reciting the lines. And I didn't know stand-ins ain't supposed to say shit. They were just supposed to stand there. And long story short, the guy didn't come. I just seen the director talking to somebody, 15, 20 minutes. They come back. They say, hey, you stand here. You deliver the lines. We're going to have the camera on this guy. It's going to be over your shoulder to him. I said, cool. I didn't know what that meant. I said, cool. He came back. We shot all his scenes, different angles, mid shot, wide shot, not wide shot, mid shot over, then a close up. And then he said, fuck it, we flipping it. He flipped the camera and it was on me at that point. And then all I remember is halfway through the scene, whoever the guy was finally got there.
Oh, man.
And then the director was just like, you know what? We rocking with him. So I went to visit a set. I wasn't supposed to be there. I mean, not that I couldn't be there, but I just so happened to go there. And that was a day that I got my first opportunity. The director said I was a natural. I had no outside of any plays or anything like that. I was a basketball player and a football player in real life in high school and summer college. And this character was a football player. And I just remember I was the guy, you know what I mean? I was one of the two guys in high school, you know what I mean? And this guy was supposed to be the leading football player. That was easy for me to play. So long story short, that's how I got in the game. The movie never came out, but Simone Missick was in it with me. And that's she's the judge on All Rise. We were both in that film. That was our first films. And looking back, man, that's how I got started. And from that point on, I told my wife, I made about $8,000 or something like that. And I got me a car. I got us an apartment, and I told my wife, I'm sending for you. Because she was almost done with school. She was like three or 4 months away from finishing. So all I had to do was go back for graduation. I got a job. I had booked some more things, and I got us an apartment. So that's life, man. And I was in LA for full time.
What's up? I'm always interested in hearing how people get started. Because everybody has a different start.
Yeah.
And how you said it wasn't an accident. It may have kind of seemed like that at the point, but for those of us that really understand accidents versus this is supposed to happen, you realize that pretty quickly. So that's a cool story, man. I like that.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, all right. So, and you went to Wilberforce, right?
Wilberforce University, man. Wilberforce University in Ohio, about 15 miles or 15 minutes outside of Dayton, Ohio. The two nearest schools would be Dayton University and Wright State University. We were right between both of them. And we were right across the street from Central State University as well. That's like our sister school. Yep.
All right, so you get to LA.
Mm-hmm.
Life gets out there. You're doing your thing. Did it kind of ramp up really quickly, or it was a slow burn for a while and then suddenly it popped off? Or
yeah, man, it's funny because I was looking back. I booked a lot of stuff. A couple national commercials. I did some for Walmart. I did some for ABC. You remember that show, The Castle? I did a commercial for them.
Yeah.
I did a number of like mainstream things, like a couple, like 2 or 3 of those, and then I booked a lot of because somebody told me the way to really get going is to work with up and coming filmmakers, right? To go to these schools, USC, UCLA, and what's the other school? The other school is really what got me going. I'll think of it. I'm sure I will, but it's a little bit further away from LA. I would drive out there all the time for auditions, and I would student films with really dope cameras and things of that sort. I booked a lot of things, and then I was working consistently for about 2 years, and into the 2 years, we had a kid, and it slowed down. Like I remember to this, I was like, man, when I tell my son, I was like, man, you slowed down my acting career. But it slowed down a lot tremendously. But then I don't know where the next question is coming from for you. But that's when I was able to look at myself and I was just like, you know what? That's when Issa was doing her thing. That's when Lena was doing her thing.
Yeah.
A couple other people was doing theirs. And I was just like, you know what? I had a second job too. I was at night. And I was just like, you know what? Let me write something. I watched this interview with Ice Cube where he said he just took a script that he got and wrote a script in the same format that they wrote theirs, but with his own story.
Gotcha.
So when I heard that, I was just like, shit, I had stories about my cousin and how I grew up, and I just started writing. So yeah, man. So consistently, I was working for about 2 years. Small projects, big projects, but enough to feel good about what I was doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
doing good work and seeing it come to fruition and getting something out of it. That's what's up.
Thank you,
So
man.
I first heard of you when Black Boots was coming out. It was through TK because he and I went to college together. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this project is gonna be so dope. I was really looking forward to it. And when when the first season came out, I was like, there's so much truth in this.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was entertaining as well. So being Greek is like, okay, yep, I know people like that, or I've been around folks like that. But being just a person who went to college is like, okay, yeah, I've seen people like that. So it hit on different levels for me.
Right.
Being Greek, being a college student or college graduate, and being a human who wants to see a good story, whether it's a TV, film, whatever. That was just really cool for me to see. And then seeing that it's somebody that looks like me that's doing that, it's like,
yeah.
It was encouraging. Like, did you kind of write all of it in bulk, or was it spread out, or how did Black Boots kind of happen?
It's a good question, man. If I could just speak to the inspiration a little bit first, and then I could what the writing process was. It was, when you graduate, you being Greek, us Greeks, you just have that bond, right?
Yeah.
And my sons would, they knew that I was out here doing what I was doing, and I had a series previous to it called The Therapist that I had done. And they was excited, but yeah, man, when you gonna tell our story? When you gonna tell our story? So, when I go back to homecoming, or when I, what I mean, they'd be like, man, I see you out there, doing your Hollywood thing, but when you gonna tell our story? So it hit me one night. I was just like, man, I want to tell a story about loosely based on my process, right? Or at least from my POV, right? From the world of Greek. That's really what I was doing, but it was inspired by my guys, my line brothers telling me like, yo, we love what you're doing. Don't forget about us. It's like, that's where the story came from, initially. And then the writing process, I wrote it, I had a co-writer in majority of the series. And I would say that I started off with images in my head, right? I just put something on my Instagram story that Jordan Peele said, and it was exactly how I write or how I come up with shit. So I don't want to say like me and Jordan Peele are in the same breath, but when I read it, I was like, fuck, that's me, right? I normally think of a situation, I visually see things, and then what those moments do, they inspire me. And from there, I write towards that one of those moments. And the first moment that popped in my head was the night that I met my line brothers for the first time, right? Because you might hear somebody might be interested, you might see somebody that you never know, but that first moment when we were in we're in a room together, the basement together, if you will. I just remember what that was like, because it was like, shit, I don't know none of these people besides one. Yeah. I don't know what I just got myself into. But I just thought that was an interesting thing. So anyhow, I started writing around that moment. And I was able to flesh it out, man. And I wrote the season. I wrote the entire first season. We wrote the entire first season, I think in 2 months. And the first 12 episodes. And then from there, we noticed that the story was growing. So we would put stuff off. We would go back and revise it, look at the stuff, check out and see how people was responding. I'll tell you that after the pilot, we reapproached the scripts, and yeah, man. And then from that point on, the last 2 episodes weren't really how they of season 1. I'm referring to should have been episodes 13 or 12 or 13, and then because it's 16 episodes in season 1, we just added 2. We went back and edited the scripts and made it out to 16 episodes. So I don't know if that's a long-winded way to say I usually visualize stuff and have moments in my head, then I write towards that. And we wrote the entire first season and then came back and adjusted it based on the viewers' comments. You know what I mean? Like, we were really in real time, not a lot of shit, but a lot of stuff we were reacting to. You know what I mean? And it's a hard thing with Black Boots because for me, outside, in my opinion, right, just in my humble opinion, it was before us Burning Sands. It was before, the quad and all that stuff. I feel like if we had the budget, we were just as raw as anybody had ever been in that space. It was hard for me in the beginning because it was like, I don't want to give up too much of anything that's specific to my initiation, right?
Yeah.
And then I had to protect Greeks at the same time, where it's generalized enough where we all feel like if my process wasn't like that, I know somebody's whose was, but I can also see something in that you guys do that we did. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like pulling from this organization, this organization, this organization, this organization, and put it in a bowl where everybody feels like they're serviced in the story without feeling like Geno then gave up the fucking beans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So hopefully we did that.
In my humble, wow, that is a bad echo. Yikes. In my humble opinion, and that's just me talking. Oh wow,
Mm-hmm.
I can hear all my echoes. Okay. The joys of podcast. But
is anything on my side?
I don't know if it's coming from my computer or yours. And now I don't hear it anymore.
I paused it.
That is interesting.
I'll mute it. I got the fan going on. You want me to turn it off?
No. It's fine. No.
Okay, cool.
I'm going to do... There we go. I think that should do it. Yeah. Okay. Yep. We're still coming through. Good. All right. But as I was saying, yeah, I feel like everybody in that project did a good job of staying true to what was written and staying true to what happens or what you hear happens without giving a nudge like, oh, now I know what's going on. It was enough to pull you in and make you feel like part of the story and, relating to the characters without, like you said, giving up the beans. Right? And when I saw other projects that had a similar vein or similar concept, personally, I measured them to Black Boots because legitimately, like you said, it was very raw. It was very real. And yeah, it was the gold standard. It was the measuring stick for me for other projects that came after it. It's like, yeah, I mean, they have a bigger budget. However, it's not Black Boots. Like, it's not that. So,
wow, thank you, brother. That means the world, man. Seriously. When I tell you it was just literally a camera and 3 maybe people helping me, outside of the people that's in front of the camera. You know what I mean? It was literally, at times, it was just me and my producer named Nikki Whalen. Like literally, it'd be just us on set with whomever the actors are in whatever scene we were doing. But yeah, man, I just want to give her a shout out. Nikki Whalen is a filmmaker. She's back in St. Louis, and she's back to making films, and I'm excited about her and all the things that she's doing. But I couldn't have done that. At least the stuff that's on ground, on locations and things, like I couldn't have done that without her. And I'm truly grateful for her because I think we did some really cool, man. And like, I just wish that the world would have seen it with an actual budget. You know what I mean? So, but thank you.
Well, your impact was made, and so
thank you.
Count that as a success. In my opinion, it was successful.
Oh yeah. Definitely. I appreciate you, brother.
Oh, for sure. All right, so
let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir. Oh yeah, Anthony.
Who's your favorite character on it, and do you have a favorite moment or scene from the series? Favorite character, favorite moment or scene from the series, either season 1 or season 2, whatever.
Oh, that's a good one. Okay.
I know it's been a long time, but
it's been a minute, and I can't remember the character's name, but it was the character that Miles played.
Okay, that'll make him happy, man. He tries to say he's everybody's favorite character. I'll be like, shut up, dude. But yeah, it's Evan. Evan Parker was his character's name, and I'll say this: each character had his own thing that I was trying to do with them, he or she, and I knew that I can throw, the most, I want to say, because I don't want to shade it sound like a shade to anybody else. I just knew what I can throw at Miles.
Yeah. Right?
Meaning circumstances for his character, and he would be able to adapt to them. So he held a lot of the weight on his shoulders when it came to the darker moments, right? The things that really ground me as a filmmaker are the gritty moments. And I felt like I was able to give those off to him while still also telling a collegiate story. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, thank you. Do you remember a moment with it? If not, it's all good.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything.
Okay.
I'm mad that I can't.
No. One of my favorite moments with Evan is, do you remember when the guys found him in the crack house?
Yes.
That moment when they carried him out of there was real, man. That moment when they came and got him out of the crack house or the drug house. It's probably my favorite scene for the entire series, just emotionally. So, but yeah, all right, man. Thank you for that.
Now I'm gonna have to go back and re-binge all the episodes.
I'll tell you that I am like, once I'm done with these short films for my mentorship program, I am going to go back. I am writing a new season, and thinking about reprising it. It would be a different year, like, you know what I mean? Different class, but yeah, man, I'm thinking about bringing Black Boots back.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna have to keep pestering you. Be a professor or something. I'm too old to play a college student.
Where are you?
I'm in Nashville.
Nashville, yeah. You're in Nashville.
Yeah, but I remember, I was like, man, if I ever get a shot at auditioning for Black Boots, I will pay for my flight. I'm going.
Why you never reach out?
It wasn't the right time. I like it in my head. It was like I could do it, but I knew that that wasn't going to be the right decision for me to do.
Okay, I don't know what that means.
On a personal level, I knew that I needed to not do that, even though I wanted to, and I felt like I would have certain level of success with it.
Yeah.
That was an envelope that I didn't want to push that far. Because
meaning Greek?
Being no, not doing with Greek. No. That wasn't it. It was
okay. Because I mean, TK was a producer, so if he'd have been like, "Yo," it would have been just that simple. To be honest.
That's cool. Yeah, it's all right. Like I said, it was the angel on one shoulder, the devil on the other. Yeah, do it, just do it. But I was like, no, that's another story for another conversation. We sitting here for another 2 hours talking about that. But so the artistic standard. You are CEO. You're doing. I've seen. Was it Jones and the other projects that you're doing? Is that just your thing by yourself, or you have more than? But I know you've got partners but it was like your idea or kind of a collaborative idea too.
Yeah, I was formerly in a group called in another group, and of filmmakers, and we decided to dissolve the company, and I've always been, no matter if I've been successful or not, I've always had the entrepreneurial, bug. My grandfather was was really a real great business guy, hustler in the city of Chicago. And I just took after him, you know what I mean? So yeah, once we disbanded, our former company, I couldn't wait to get off and do things on my own. You know what I mean? So I started the Artistic Standard 2015, 2016. And so yeah, I solely own the Artistic Standard. It's 100% mine. But I do have partners. I have a partner. So yeah. So yeah, it's just, I don't know where I'm going with it, but basically it's my brand. It was my idea once we disbanded the old company. I wanted to go off and do something on my own. And I came up with the Artistic Standard. So it's funny looking back. Even it's funny looking back because even choosing the name, it came to me immediately. But I was just like, man, to see I'll be humbly, I'll see to see what's happening with it now, with the brand, because it's becoming bigger than me, and slowly but surely. And it's not like everybody knows about it, but I'm just saying people are recognizing it and not necessarily attaching it back to me. They're just seeing the brand, and that's what I've always wanted, right? So I say that to say. It's the day that I remember I was laying on my bed and my wife walked in the room and she's like, "What you doing?" I was like, "Well, I'm buying my domain name and, setting up, my new company." And she said, "Oh, cool. That's cool. And what's the name of it?" And I told her the name and she looked at me and she was like, "I love that." But the problem with it was I felt it was too long, right? Because I'm thinking of McDonald's and Apple, right? They're one syllables, they're, things that one word. And I was like, the Artistic Standard, right? And I was just like, damn, that's too much. But I leaned into what it meant for me and what I was trying to do with it. And that's where I think it kind of, once I got past that part of it, I feel like it took off for me, at least, So I'm excited that I did it. But looking back on the day that it's coming up on the anniversary, 5-year anniversary. And I think about it because November 27th is when I incorporated the artistic standard, 2016.
You had mentioned earlier doing mentorship program, working with just other filmmakers around and giving them a shot to get started, earn their stripes.
Yeah, because look, man, this is what I'm, I just always, always felt like when I was trying to get in the game, there wasn't a lot of me's around to ask questions and hit me up and be like, yo, this is what's going on. Can you give me 15 minutes? If I got 15 minutes, I'm going to give somebody 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Now, will I be able to continue to do that as my career continues to blossom? I don't know. But at the very least, what I can do now is pick up a call or make time to have a call in most cases, right? But I wanted to do more than that. And I'm a former social worker. So the job that I came out here got, I was a social worker. And I quit working there and gave my life to filmmaking. And when that happened, I've started to miss the connection, the resource that you are for somebody to help them become better versions of themselves, right? Yeah. And I missed it. So I was just like, how can I merge what I love in social work with what I love or with my passion and with how I'm going to spend the rest of my life with my career in art? And I was like, man, I'll create this BIPOC filmmakers mentorship incubator for emerging BIPOC filmmakers. I know it's a lot, but it's called the Bear the Torch BIPOC Filmmaker Incubator. And that just means that we put out an application, we let the world know. I didn't expect people to apply at the top of the pandemic. And we had about 300 people apply based on our social media. And man, we got down to it. We picked 8 filmmakers. And I'm excited to say that, with those 8 filmmakers, we moved on and they go through a myriad of learning how each month is themed. So they went through a 9-month, 10-month program, which ended up being an official year. Each month was writing, finding yourself as an artist, directing, producing, becoming a multi-hyphenate, then pre-production. And then what happened is we told them at the end of that, towards the end we wanted them to write a short film. And at first it was just going to be one short film. They would all write short films and we would select what we felt was the best one, the most producible one. And because I had just came off of Johnson, I had a little money in my pocket. I was just like, well, we'll produce a $5,000 short film. And what ended up happening was, me and my partner, Miles Greer, we got excited, man. We just like, what? We can make all 8 of these films. I didn't know how. We didn't know how, but we got hungry. And what we ended up doing, man, is we ended up finding a partner, and they came on to support the program. And we were able to, we're in the middle of making 8 short films, and we have a distribution partner in All Black. So not only will these films be, made, but they'll be distributed on a nationwide streaming service. So, nice. And for this to be the first year, and for these are first time filmmakers, I think we have a partnership with Panavision. We have a partnership with Color of Change, All Black, Final Draft. This is all in the first year. You know what I mean? We started this program this time last year, officially. And then, and they graduated a few weeks ago, and now we're in the midst of shooting their films. So, yeah.
I think that is the epitome of climbing the ladder and bringing other people right up with you.
Yeah, because look at it like this. You can make an impact. Just like you just said, you can learn from anybody, right? And that's the same approach. That's why I agree with you. I was just like, look, Lena, who's somebody that's in my life and, mentored me and supported me, Lena Waith, she had this saying. She told us it was me and three other gentlemen that she took under her wing. And she's like, look, you don't have to be a household name for you to make an impact on someone's career. And when she said that, and I already was thinking about creating my own mentorship program at that time, I was just like, look, what she's saying is I don't have to be on TV like her, that I can do it because I have experience that I can share with other filmmakers that think they could use it from me, right? Because I can shave, my thing is I want to shave time off your career from the mistakes that I made, right? Or push you towards the things that that help me become a little bit more, look successful. Here are the practices. These are the things. This is the mindset that I had when I was going through it. Like it was me against the world. Then, I'm not stopping until I get to where I'm going. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Don't quit. We all know that.
Yeah. Learn that from the jump.
You know what I'm saying? So, with that being said, it was just like it was no looking back. So, I'm grateful I did. Now we got 8 filmmakers. We've changed their lives. We're in the middle of them, man. You should see their faces on set making their words jump off the page, bro. You know what I'm saying? Seeing their words jump off the page. And we're shooting them. The crazy thing is we're shooting these 8 films and we're shooting a behind the scenes documentary of the process.
Nice.
You know what I mean? We'll release that. We're going to release that as well. So.
Yeah, I can't wait to see these. That's going to be dope.
Cool, man. Yeah.
But I'm glad that you mentioned Jonathan, because congratulations on the renewal for the next season.
Hey, thank you, brother. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Paying attention. Pay attention when my popular and famous friends are doing big things.
Oh man. Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Johnson was a blessing, man, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. Deji LeRae, the creator of the show, is just a great dude, man. Him and Thomas Jones are just great dudes, and to see them flourishing and to be a part of their success is just, I'm humbled. You know what I'm saying? I'm honored, and and I'm learning from them because they have their own show. That one day when I have my own show, I'll know how to treat people because they treat us great over at Johnson, bro. That's what's up. They treat us great. They treat us great. I'm talking about everybody from the top to the bottom. Just an amazing experience. For real. Yeah. Did you watch it? Did you watch Johnson?
I have to catch up because I
hate to put you on the spot again, but
no, I'm not worried about it. It's cool. I am behind. Yeah. I can't even front. Is it? Yeah, I hadn't caught it yet. Just with the work that I've been doing, both in the entertainment industry and the other stuff that I've got going on, I was like, man, I got so much stuff. I basically just make a note in my phone. It's like, all right, well, one of these days let me catch up on this show, catch up on these movies, and then I'll find a batch of time and just chop through them.
Chop it up, yeah.
And then find another batch of time and chop through them. So yeah, I will be caught up before the next season for sure. Okay. Because it's on my radar.
That's what's up. Yeah. That's what's up. I had a blast doing it. That being my first TV experience. And yeah, man, I just can't wait to see what we pull off for season 2. So, yeah.
I ain't going to keep you too much longer, but I do have 3 questions that every guest is going to be asked, and you are not allowed to opt out of the questions. So, first one. Yeah. What is something that you've read that made an impact on your career? It could be a book, a script, a quote, just something that you've read that made a major impact on your career.
I mean, we just mentioned "Don't Quit," but I'll say my favorite poem of them all, right? Because there are sure a few poems that we all share, and then there are those that are specific to our organization. I think for me, I think that's one that everyone has is Invictus, and I think Invictus is the one that really, really, when I turn to when I'm seeing things or when I'm going through my trouble, I always read Invictus. I'll go back. I'll read "Don't Quit," but Invictus, I still probably know a little bit of Invictus. Don't put me on the spot for that, but that's probably the one that I can spit like I was still online. And so yeah, the "Out of the Night That Covers Me, Black as a Pit from Pole to Pole" is at the end of my personal email because, that means a lot, to me. So yeah, I think that's one of the things that's impacted me. Then I would say a book that changed my life when it comes to filmmaking is this book. My friend gave it to me, and it's "Do the Right Thing" by Spike Lee. I'm sorry, "She's Gotta Have It" by Spike Lee. And basically, that was a new filmmaker. He tells you everything that he went through. If you haven't read that book, you got to read that book. He chronicalizes everything that he went through, what he was going through, how he made shit happen. He got some of the script in there so you can see what that was like when he was writing it. You know what I'm saying? And how ultimately that changed and put him in the game. I think that right there is the blueprint for anybody to check out. And I think that changed the trajectory of how I thought about film. That's also what made me. I went from being an actor to being someone who has a studio and production company of my own. Right? That was the importance of being an owner and not just playing the game. And yeah, so those two things right there.
All right, next one. What is one piece of advice that you would give to an actor?
One piece of advice that I would give to an actor is repetitions. You know what I mean? You have to do it. You have to get out there and keep doing it. And acting can be a waiting game, right? Meaning like you can wait to get put in a game, but there are things that you can do to sharpen a tool and be ready for when the coach looks down the bench and says, "Come get in." You can go in there and put up 40 points. You know what I'm saying? With classes, I would say get into classes and then stay in classes if you can afford it. And if you can't afford it, find your tribe, people that want to do certain shit. I would say find a writer that just want to write. Find a guy with a camera that just want to shoot. Find a director that wants to direct. If you put your tribe together, and don't get people that want to do everything, in my opinion. Get people who love to do that specific thing. Yeah. So then anytime you want to create something, you won't have a problem outside of they can't do it because of their schedules. Not because they're off trying to do something else. Because chemistry and building with somebody, I'm grateful for the relationships and the friendships that I've had along the way. I think we've all poured into each other and improved each other by being around each other and sharpening our tools. So that's what I would say.
What's up? And the last thing, where can people find you on social media?
Great question, man. I just really started leaning into social media. I'm a little late on it, but although I've always had them, I just really wasn't frequent, but now I'm a little bit more. Now I'm actually enjoying the process. But you can find me at Geno Brooks TV everywhere. That's Geno Brooks, T as in Tom, V as in Victor, television. on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I don't have a TikTok. That's one I'm probably going to stay away from, at least for now. But yeah, any of the platforms, you can check me out on there. I even have a personal YouTube channel that I'm building right now for my stuff. You know what I mean? Personal stuff. And then I would love for you guys to also follow the Artistic Standard. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Check us out. Last but not least, this apparel. Check us out at Artistic Standard Apparel, theartisticstandard.com, and you can click the apparel link at the top of the page and just support it, man. You know, we're a brand. We're not just a production company. We're a lifestyle brand. You know, when you think of Nike, you think of, you know, what athletes are to Nike. The Artistic Standard is for artists. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lifestyle brand.
And
yes, sir.
My hoodie.
Oh, you got you one?
Yes, sir. I ordered it literally after I commented on your Instagram post. I was like,
oh, yeah?
Let me go ahead and do it now while it's on my mind. Otherwise,
it's on my mind. That's what I'm talking about, brother. Thank you so much for the support. A portion of that bread is going towards making these short films. So I'm grateful for you, man. You know, and I'm excited for you and your platform. Whenever you need me, I'm back. Okay?
Hey, man, that's what's up. Yeah,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to put links in the show notes to all of these things that Geno has just mentioned, the Artistic Standard. Make sure y'all buy a hoodie, buy a t-shirt.
Buy a t-shirt.
Just do it. Just, you know, support people that are doing dope work, because that support means a lot coming from a person who enjoys supporting his friends and coming from a person who enjoys receiving support from his friends.
Right.
That is a never-ending cycle that we should feel responsible for. And
totally.
So that's my deep promo pitch for the episode. But yeah, there'll be links in the show notes to Geno's social media, to his Artistic Standard, and I'm looking forward to seeing these short films, dude. Like, for real, that's gonna be dope.
Man, they gonna be fire, dude. I just left location scouting in high school for one of the films. I'm super fucking dope, super fucking excited about it. And if we get it, it's the location where they shoot All American in, if you know that TV show. So
yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's what's up. All right, well, Geno, man, again, dude, I appreciate you jumping on, chopping it up with me. And that's gonna be a wrap for this episode. Y'all make sure to follow Geno and the Artistic Standard. You need to do both, because you are shorting yourself of quality content otherwise. That is the wrap. Again, appreciate it, Geno. Appreciate it.
All right, no doubt, man. Peace.
All right, that is a wrap on another episode. Once again, big thanks to Geno for taking some time out of his extremely busy schedule to talk with me. He's doing a lot of really great work, and I was glad to be able to pull some insights out of him that I didn't know before. One reason that I wanted to have Geno on was because as actors, we need to get to know directors. We can't just be friends with actors. We need to know, directors, producers, other crew members, writers, and because he has done some acting, and part of his acting journey got him into directing and producing. Just wanted y'all to kind of see how you don't have to just be an actor if you don't want to be, or, if you do, then that's perfectly fine. But you also should, get to know directors, especially up and coming ones, and people who are doing really great work, such as Geno, because that's how you put extra bricks in the foundation of building your career. So let's see, what else? That's about it. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast on your favorite podcast platform. Leave us some reviews, some good reviews, I hope. And I will have links to the Artistic Standard and to Geno's social media in the show notes or in the description box if you're watching this on YouTube. Also, be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel, as well as subscribing on your favorite podcast platforms. And make sure you buy an Artistic Standard t-shirt or hoodie or both. Support people who are doing great work, and somewhere down the line, when you're doing great work, people will support you as well. It's that whole karma thing. That's all I got. I will see you guys in the next episode. Take it easy.